And today, we need to talk about what's really happening with Prince Harry's security situation, because once again, the British media has shown us exactly why we can't trust a single headline they print. So here's what's happening. Prince Harry is scheduled to return to London on January 19th for his High Court trial against Associated Newspapers. And yes, that's the same newspaper group that's been relentlessly attacking him and Meghan for years. But that's not even the main story today. What we need to discuss is the absolute circus surrounding his security arrangements and how the media, again, tried to manipulate the narrative before the facts were even established. Let me break this down for you because it's infuriating. Just recently, we saw headlines claiming that Harry's police protection was already sorted, that his government-backed security would be restored, and that everything was basically nailed on. Sounds great, right? Finally, some common sense prevailing? Well, hold on, because according to new reports from Radar Online, those claims were not just premature, they were potentially part of a calculated effort to shape public opinion before any actual decision was made. Here's the reality. Government sources are now confirming that no conclusion has been reached yet. None. Zero. The review by the Risk Management Board, which advises RAVEC, that's the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, is still completely underway. And this is crucial, so listen carefully. An insider told the outlet, "No one can say what the RMB will ultimately advise RAVEC because the review is still underway, and there is simply no conclusion yet." But here's where it gets really interesting. And by interesting, I mean absolutely maddening. The same source went on to say something that should make all of us sit up and pay attention. Suggestions that the outcome is already settled look like an effort to shape the media narrative around a process that is still active and being properly examined. Let that sink in for a moment. An effort to shape the media narrative. Who benefits from prematurely announcing that Harry's getting his security back? Who wins when the public thinks this is all settled, only to potentially have that decision reversed later? I'll tell you who. The same people who've been trying to control the story about Harry and Meghan since day one. This is exactly the kind of media manipulation we've been talking about on this channel. Create a narrative, let it spread, and then when the actual decision comes down, whatever it may be, you've already set the stage for maximum drama and maximum criticism of Harry. If he doesn't get security? Well, he shouldn't have expected it anyway. If he does get security, look at him, getting special treatment, such a hypocrite. Either way, they've positioned themselves to attack him. And let's not forget why we're even here in the first place. This entire dispute started when Harry's taxpayer-funded security was stripped from him after he and Meghan made the incredibly difficult decision to step back from royal duties in 2020. Think about that timeline for a second. This man served his country in Afghanistan twice. He was a literal target for terrorists and extremists. His mother died being chased by paparazzi, and when he decides he needs to protect his own family from the same toxic environment that killed his mother, what happens? They take away his security. The sheer vindictiveness of that decision is breathtaking. And it's not like Harry's asking for a free ride here. He's literally offered to pay for his own police protection. He's not asking British taxpayers to foot the bill. He just wants the option to have proper security when he's in the UK. But even that has been denied to him, forcing him into this lengthy legal battle just to secure basic safety for himself and his family. And you know what really gets me? The absolute hypocrisy of it all. Other royals, who shall remain nameless, but we all know who they are, get round-the-clock protection despite far fewer security threats. But Harry? The man who's been explicitly threatened by terrorists? The man whose wife has received credible death threats? The man whose children are in line to the throne? Somehow, his security isn't a priority. This isn't about money. This isn't about logistics. This is about punishment. This is about sending a message. If you leave the firm, if you speak your truth, if you prioritize your mental health and your family over our outdated institution, we will make you pay. And the British tabloids? They're complicit in this entire charade. They've spent years painting Harry as paranoid, as dramatic, as someone who's exaggerating the threats against him. Never mind that these same publications have published his exact locations, his travel schedules, his children's schools. Never mind that they've whipped up such hatred toward him and Meghan that people have literally been arrested for planning attacks. No, according to the tabloids, Harry's the problem for wanting to protect his family. The insider source was absolutely right to call out what's happening here. By floating stories that Harry's security was already approved, someone was trying to get ahead of the actual decision-making process. And when that happens, it creates this impossible situation where the committee reviewing his case now has to deal with public perception that's been artificially manufactured. Think about it from their perspective. If they grant Harry security now, critics will say they caved to pressure or gave him special treatment. If they deny him security, supporters will say the initial reports were just a setup to make the eventual denial more dramatic. Either way, the actual security needs of a high-profile individual, someone who faces documented, credible threats, gets lost in the media circus. And that's exactly the point, isn't it? Keep the focus on the drama, on the Harry and Meghan show, on anything except the actual substance of what's happening. Don't talk about whether a man who served his country deserves protection. Don't discuss whether the UK has a responsibility to protect members of the royal family, even those who've stepped back. Don't examine why other countries manage to provide security for former royals without this level of controversy. No, just keep the circus going. Keep the clicks coming. Keep people divided and angry and scrolling. What makes this even more frustrating is that Harry has been completely vindicated in his concerns about media manipulation. He's taken these newspapers to court and won. He's exposed their illegal practices, their phone hacking, their bribery, their complete disregard for truth and privacy. And yet, somehow, we're supposed to believe them when they report on his security situation. We're supposed to take their word for it when they say he's being unreasonable or demanding. The cognitive dissonance is astounding. Here's what we know for sure. Prince Harry will be in London on January 19th for his court case against Associated Newspapers. The decision about his security is not finalised, despite what earlier reports claimed. The review process is ongoing, and anyone telling you otherwise is either misinformed or deliberately trying to shape the narrative. And throughout all of this, Harry continues to face the same threats, the same hatred, the same coordinated campaigns against him, all while fighting for the basic right to protect himself and his family. This is exactly why we need channels like this one, to cut through the noise and tell you what's really happening. The mainstream media has proven time and time again that they cannot be trusted to report fairly on Harry and Meghan. They have too much invested in the drama, too much to gain from keeping the controversy alive. So, if you appreciate this kind of honest, straightforward analysis, please hit that subscribe button right now. We're building a community of people who are tired of the lies, tired of the manipulation, and ready to stand up for Harry and Meghan against the constant barrage of negativity. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload, because trust me, we're going to be following this security situation closely as it develops. And please leave a comment below letting me know what you think about this latest development. Do you think Harry will finally get the protection he deserves? Or will the establishment continue to put him at risk just to prove a point? Let's discuss. Harry and Meghan didn't leave the royal family because they were ungrateful or attention-seeking. They left because they were fighting for their lives, their mental health, and their children's future. And the fact that they're still having to fight for basic security protections in 2026 tells you everything you need to know about why they made that decision in the first place. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep supporting Harry and Meghan, and don't let the haters win.